Shalom. This is the servant returning to you again. I would like to come and bring forward this message on the rapture. Truth or falsehood? I'll let you decide that. I would like for you at the end of hearing this message to go in the comment box and just put truth or falsehood, because I would like to know where the masses stand on this. Let me get right into this. First of all, I do have to say something. Katy Perry was at the Super Bowl and she came out riding a beast. No one said anything. It wasn't a dragon, but still it was a beast. But they mad about her about having a dolphin up there. But no one said anything, a crowd, about that. That's strange that after the last message I put out talking about the beast and a woman riding it and the time that we are in, which goes along with that. Just wanted to say that. Alright, let's go to 1 Thessalonians 4, starting at the 14th verse. For if we believe that Yahshua died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Yahshua will Elohim bring with him. For this we say unto you by the word of Yahweh, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Savior shall not prevent them which are asleep. Meaning, we should not go before them. We shouldn't come up and get into before they come, those who died before us. For Yahweh himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet of Yahweh, and the dead and the Messiah shall rise first. With that saying that the dead will rise first, meaning, as I just said, we're not going to go in before those who died before us, because they suffered and put through, and those who did the work in righteousness, matriarchs, patriarchs, and all, they have the right before us. With that, let's turn to Revelations 19. Revelations 19:6 states, and I heard as it were the voice of a great multitude, and as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of mighty thunderings, saying, Hallelujah, for Yahweh Elohim omnipotent reigneth. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him. For the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife had made herself ready. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is the righteousness of the saints. And he saith unto me, Write, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And saith unto me, These are the true sayings of Yahweh. So this is right here is just telling you that the saints are prepared. They prepared. Those who have passed on are giving robes of white, which means just righteousness. They have passed on and they have been changed from mortality to immortality. They've been covered with his glory and his honor. As the same as it says when he come back in a twinkling of an eye, those who will be left, that he will call up with him, they will be changed in an instant. That will be Israel, those ones that he take and get from the four corners, and he has hid off for 3.5 years. That's something else I had to get into, because that deals with Revelations chapter 12 in the woman Israel, in her remnant. I don't want to go too far. I'm on a time schedule here. I'm trying to get this all in. In Revelations 20, 1 through 6, it reads, "And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having a key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit," not hell, where the false prophet and the man of perdition going to be, but he's going to be cast into the bottomless pit, not hell. "And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahshua, and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with the Messiah 1,000 years." These are the ones that had died, that's going to die through the tribulation period, that's not going to receive of this mark that's going to come forth, that the man of perdition and the false prophet are going to have the world to take, on the grounds that they get their power from the dragon himself. But the rest of the dead live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Now, catch this. You got to understand this. Key word is blessed. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power. But they shall be priests of Yahweh and of the Messiah, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. As I said, take note to that word blessed, because in chapter 19, verse 9, it tells you and say, "And he saith unto me, Right, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he saith unto me, These are the true sayings of Yahweh." Being blessed, because they both are going to be resurrected. Those who died at the time of the tribulations, and those who died before us, went on before us. Loved ones, patriarchs and matriarchs, all at the same time. They will be blessed and will be given a robe of white and reign with him for 1,000 years in righteousness. With that, let's turn to Zechariah. And as I always tell people, if you can't find it in the Old Testament, then it's no truth to it. It's no validity. Whatever you read in the New, you should be able to go back and find in the Old. If you can't, throw it away. In Zechariah chapter 14, beginning at the 3rd verse, it reads, "Then shall Yahweh go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in the day of battle. And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east. And the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof toward the east and toward the west. And there shall be a great valley, and half of the mountain shall be moved toward the north, and half of it toward the south. And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azazel. Yea, you shall flee like you fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uriah. king of Yahudah, and Yahweh my Elohim shall come, and all the saints with thee. Now, as I said, you have to find it in the new and in the old. That sounds like an earthquake there to me. And if you take note in verse 5, as I read, and it says about the saints, it says, and all the saints with thee. He's going to bring these saints with him, these resurrected ones. As it says, as we read in Revelations 19:8. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, for the fine linen is the righteousness of the saints. The scriptures are interpreting the scriptures. And it says this earthquake, when he stepped and put his foot on that mount, the earthquake, and he's going to shake this earth, this whole earth, when he stepped foot on it. And in 1 Thessalonians 16 it reads, for Yahweh himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of Yahweh, and the dead and the Messiah shall rise first. When he touched foot on this earth, them bodies are going to rise up. They're going to come up out of that earth and come up to him in the clouds of the air. But let's deal with that. In Zechariah 14:6 it reads, and it shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark, but it shall be one day which shall be known to Yahweh, not day nor night, but it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light. Now in verse 6 it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark. That sounds like clouds to me, or fog, which fog is nothing but the clouds that came down to the earth to touch down. I really didn't understand this until one day I was taking my son back to college in Alabama, and we were up in the mountains, and I was driving through the mountains, and we was riding in the clouds, and my son was beside me, and I said, Little John, look, man, we're in the clouds, man. And I was so in awe that I had to wind down the window. I was like, and look, I'm winding down the window with my hand, and here it is, I got an automatic button where I just hit, and the window come down. I was so awed, couldn't even, and wind the window down, and I'm reaching out, trying to take the clouds and just, if I could catch it and take it and put it in my pocket and carry it with me. It just blew me away. But that's all it's saying in 1 Thessalonians. When he said, come up hither in the clouds. When they are resurrected from the earth, soon as they come up and the clouds had come down with Yahshua, because they got to come up to the mountain where he's going to be. He's going to be on the mountain top when he touched down. He's going to be in the clouds. They're going to come up to him where he is, on the earth, in the clouds, about him. They're not going off in the sky and fly away. And no, that's not what the word is teaching and saying. He's not going to do no taking away people when the plane's flying and one be gone and crashing and no, that's not what the word is saying. But he is going to come and gather his people from the four corners of the earth by his angels. And it says that he has a place prepared for them, which is in the land of Achan, as we read in Hosea. I will get to that in the next episode or lesson, when I will deal with Israel, Revelations 12, and Hosea, because that's going to lead me into dealing with the mark. As I was saying, I was just blown away with the clouds. So, as it says in verse 6, it shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark. It talks about the clouds in Thessalonians, 1 Thessalonians 4, as it reads, 4:17. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet Yahweh in the air. That's where he's going to be up high on the mountain, where he touched down in the air on the top of the mountain. Not in the earth, but he's going to be in the air. We are all in the air that's above ground. So shall we ever be with Yahweh. And from there, when we are resurrected and he changed us, we will ever be with him for the 1,000-year reign. In verse 7, it reads that it should be one day. One day as 1,000 years, as we read in Revelations. But in verse 8, to even clarify that, it says, and it shall be in that day that living waters shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them toward the former sea, and half of them toward the hinder sea. In summer and in winter shall it be. So in that day, there's going to be summer and winter. So that just takes away that the day was going to be a 24-hour period of time. So we're talking 1,000 years as one day, because he specifically says it's going to be summer and winter. You can't have summer and winter seasons in a 24-hour period of time. So we just have to let the scriptures interpret the scriptures. Not any of us put our own interpretations on it, or our own little flip or twist and turns and philosophies and ideologies. But the scriptures need to interpret the scriptures. So in verse 9 in Zechariah, it reads, and Yahweh shall be king over all the earth, and that day shall there be one Yahweh, and his name one. As we turn back to Revelations 19 and starting at the 11th verse, it says, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doeth judge and make war. So when he's come back, he's going to have those saints and all with him. He resurrected and his angels, and they're going to take this earth. He's going to take it by force. And in verse 16 it says, and he have on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Ruler of Rulers. Yes, that is Yahshua. He is coming back, and he will be the King of Kings and the Rulers of Rulers. And he's going to rule and govern this earth with a rod of iron, meaning that everything in this earth will have to keep those commandments. Those ones that he gave us and told us to keep, that so many have said is done away with. Because in Revelation, in Zechariah, it says in 14th verse, in the 14th chapter, it specifically says that if you don't come up and keep the Feast of Tabernacles, you're not going to get any rain. So obviously the commandments will be kept. All the feast days, everything that he has given, that he said was a shadow to come. And with that, I am coming to a close, and I would like to hear in your comments if it's either truth or falsehood. And I end by saying shalom.